All right. Hello, everyone. I'm really excited to have you guys today. So I just wanted to ask a little bit about your experience, your journey with Elevated Life and with myself, and hear a bit about why you started, what you expected, what you experienced, and even any tips you might have. Actually, I didn't give you a heads up on that, but if you have anything that you think would be valuable for someone who is about to embark on this journey, we'd love to hear that from you as well. So, and just as a little background, these guys, as well as Sharon, there was 4 of you guys who were in a group together. So the reason we're chatting together is because you did this whole journey, 7 months together from beginning to end every single week. And so you have a really good experience of your dynamic together. Okay, so I'll just start with Martin, because I know there's a couple little kiddos, Linda. But so I'll just unmute you quickly. Oh, you can unmute yourself perhaps. So,
okay, can you hear me?
Welcome. Do you mind giving a quick introduction, or just saying who you are, and then maybe a little bit about what you do? And then I'd love to hear, my first question is really just why did you start this journey?
Yeah, so I'm Martin. I'm from, even though I don't sound like it, I'm living in Belfast in Northern Ireland. I am from here, but I lived in England for years, hence the dulcet tones I have. Basically, I started with Elevated, if I'm honest. What was the question?
Yeah, why did you start? Why did you start this journey? I think I remember, because you were joining, Sharon pulled you into a seminar and you were like, I don't know about this, but I'll just go.
100%. But I will be brutally honest, I was not searching for this type of coaching, or I thought it was a bit of mumbo jumbo, if I'm honest with you. I thought it was a bit weird, a bit skeptical. I'm open-minded, but I was also skeptical. So I went along with my wife to support her one evening, and yeah, I just kind of thought. I think there was a line when Tony said it, but there was a line basically about we'll teach you the science of how this works, and I was like, okay, now I'm listening. Because I like that. You can measure it, you can justify it, you can say, okay, you do this, you follow this, you do this, you get this result, and it's proven, it's step by step. I thought, okay, now that really got me. That really hooked me. That sentence is what really perked my interest. Literally the following day, we signed up, my wife and I. I'm a great believer in decision making. You make a decision, it felt right. Made the decision, paid the money, job done. Never look back, basically. So yeah, that's kind of why. Maybe not the best why, but it's the truth.
I know. I remember. I actually love it because it's really neat, because really, if it weren't for Sharon, you wouldn't be here, because you were not searching for this. You were skeptical. You were probably, you wouldn't have been in that room, no. Perhaps. So it's kind of a neat how really all the dots connected. And and I also appreciate the science, like how, each person you have to hear what you need to hear to decide whether this feels like the right fit or the right flow. And and knowing there's a science and a process and a step-by-step. Whereas for some people, they're like, I just want to go with the flow and I want to feel good. Like, so it really is really interesting.
Yeah, exactly. To me, I would always, anything I do, whether it be training or business or work, I always like to have a goal and like to set a goal and think, okay, I like to do that in 12 weeks and then this one in 24. And so for me, the step-by-step thing was really appealing. That could be just the way I am, my personality, or I don't know, but it was just very, that really got me over the line, basically.
Amazing. I like to say too, it's all about awareness. Once you learn, you can't unlearn. When you know this, you're like, well, am I just going to sit by the wayside now? Like, now that I know there's a science and a process and I can change my results, am I changing how I think? And it's hard to turn it down when you've learned it. You can't unknow that. So so it's really exciting. So maybe I'll ask Linda and Casey the same question, and then I'll just come back we'll just kind of jump back and forth a little bit.
Okay.
Awesome. So do you guys want to just introduce you or just introduce yourself and then share why you started this elevated life journey?
Sure. So my name is Linda Cresswell. Gosh, I'm a woman, a mom, a grandma, you know, all kinds of different capacities. I started this program because my daughter introduced it to me. And it started with the gratitude shift and the elevated gratitude. And when she showed me the program and talked to me about that, I thought, this is amazing. I immediately, I just thought, I thought it was wonderful. And so I got the package for all of my daughters and my sister. And you know, and so we kind of did it together, you know, that first 30 days, and it was
gratitude shift. Mm-hmm.
And what was really interesting about it that I didn't realize at the time, that I always think it's interesting how something comes into your life when you need it. And I didn't realize at the time that I needed that, but because there was an event that what my daughter was going through with a really difficult divorce, this program taught me skills that I needed to be able to make it through gracefully that difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that's really interesting to me is I am a mortgage broker, and so I'm basically self-employed. I work on commissions, and I've been in the business for about 15 years. And as we went through the 7 areas of the program, there were 2 areas for me that stood out. One of them was money and my career. That was a kind of a combination. And the second area was health. Mm-hmm. And so as we advanced in the program, I set vision goals. Mm-hmm. And my goal, and it was cool because every day as I was doing my gratitude, I wrote down that vision goal every day. Now I went through the program once, and then I took a couple months break, and then I went through it as a second time because it was so important to me. And now, just as of last week, I accomplished my vision goal, which was to fund my own retirement and be able to retire by May of 2020. Well, as of last week, I've already funded it. So I'm actually 6 months early. And I've met that goal. And it's just awesome. Honestly, I really don't think I could have done it without this program. Mm-hmm. And the other part of that is the second part of that is I started my second vision goal, which is a health vision goal that I'm on track for. And I'm just really excited. It's given me skills, and I think the gratitude program specifically, what I have learned about gratitude and how it can change your life, whether it's grace, through grace, whether it's overcoming anxiety or depression, whatever that is, gratitude is a huge key in that. And that's one of the things that's taught me that I'm really.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Oh my goodness, Linda, that was just all totally incredible and so exciting. And I can feel, like we can all feel, you're like just glowing, like you're beaming, you're glowing. Like I just feel like you're on top of the world right now.
To be able to be at the point where you have started it and you've been working on it, you know, a goal for a long time. And I mean, ever since I started working, I've been working on the goal to retire and be able to accomplish something so that I can create do different things and better things besides just work. Mm-hmm. And to be able to be there and have these experiences is really, really exciting. When you have accomplished that, it's thrilling, really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so incredibly inspiring for your kids, your adult children and your grandkids, and for others to be able to watch you go through that as well.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about the health goal too, because that's personal area of passion too. So and when you're and pardon?
I'm excited about it too.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I honestly feel a bit speechless because that was just really, really powerful message to share. So thank you so much. Maybe we can share with Casey, because hiding beside you. Hi.
Miyazaki. This is my mom.
I know, surprise.
Shocking. I'm the daughter she was talking about. And to add to hers really fast, not only did she do that 6 months early, but she did that while also being very generous. She didn't she is extremely generous in so many ways, and financially, of course, is one of them. And I am speaking from experience. So anyway, okay, so why did I join? Why did I do this? Like all of us that have spoke, I was not looking for this. It probably took me 4 or 5 exposures to something elevated worldwide, whether it be talking with someone about it, whether it be a webinar or going to a seminar
in person.
I can't think of the word right now for some reason.
Event, or a seminar, workshop.
That's it probably took me about 4 or 5 exposures to finally and then the final thing was a webinar that I joined, and there was a really good deal on the GratiShift program, and I sent it to my mom. I was like, actually, I told my mom to get on the webinar with me. Like, this is something that keeps coming up, and I just want to check it out. So you asked about tips too. So kind of as I go along my why, I'm going to kind of throw in one suggestion is something continues to come into your life. There's a reason. And so look for patterns. I believe that our lives are full of patterns, and there's a reason for those, both good and bad. And if you're seeing that something is coming into your life, explore it. Would be a tip for sure that I would offer. So after, we went through the GratiShift program, and then we joined this group, and it was incredible. A tip, I'm just gonna throw this since I'm on the tip thing right now.
Tips are good. We all love them. And then we'll get Martin's tips too and feedback.
Group coaching is powerful. And in so many different ways and on so many different levels, but the accountability aspect is huge. To have a phone call or something every single week with people that you get to know on different levels across the world, it has been phenomenal. And so I highly, highly recommend doing a group coaching of some sort. It's fantastic.
It's hard to describe the experience until you experience it, right?
Totally.
I participated in the group coaching and I facilitate group coaching, and it's almost hard to fully grasp the power of it until you're in it. And especially, you only need even the second week. Even by the second week, you know the people better than you did the first week and then the third week. And it's just watching their life unfold and learning from each other. Anyways, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
That you create, right? And the things that you share so intimate and personal. I've never met Martin face to face, but he knows more about me than a lot of my friends here in Utah. So, amen, sister. So Martin, don't say anything. Just I trust you wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
So back to my why. As my mom mentioned, about 1.5 years ago, I found myself in circumstances that I never expected. Circumstances pertaining to a divorce, in a relationship that was extremely unhealthy. And I felt that I had zero control over anything. And a lot of that is true. I didn't have a lot of control or any control over my circumstances and what was happening. When you're in a relationship, you're only 50%. But as I even think about my circumstances, that can be applied to anything, whether it's a job and circumstances within your job, whether that's a relationship that's, maybe not a spouse, but maybe a friend or a family member, whether that's you know, it can really be applied to anything. If you find yourself in circumstances that you can't control and you feel like you are completely out of control, like this is a great avenue to explore. And I remember it was probably the third thing that I had attended. It was a live workshop, and Tony was doing the workshop, and he put up on the screen, take 100% responsibility for your actions. And I was sitting right there by my mom, and I raised my hand. I was like, bull crap. Like, no,
I'm not taking responsibility.
Not for your actions. It's 100% responsibility for your life.
For your life, for your results. And your results.
No way. Like, no. Do you understand my circumstances right now? Like, I was playing the blame game, and I was justified. I was 100% justified. But I didn't understand. And so after finally a couple more exposures, and I think, again, the ultimate why initially of joining was just, it kept coming up. And the place that I was at, it was just a black hole. It really was just a black hole of darkness, of alone, of loneliness, of hopelessness, despair. I mean, it was all these feelings of, I really don't know. Don't know what my next step is. And I don't know how to control what's happening to me, to my children. And I don't know how to take any sort of responsibility. And so took the leap of faith. It was, like I said, something that just kept coming up, and decided I have nothing to lose. And so gave it a go. That's the why initially. I could go into a lot more, but I'll let you ask me questions and go from there.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate that too. The like, it's so different. You're starting from Martin's in terms of having multiple exposures before you felt like you were ready. Whereas Martin was like, I'm in next day, you know, and it's very individual. It's such, very individual experiences as well. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. I do definitely have a few more questions I would like to share. But Martin, would you mind sharing a little bit about about what you, and we got a little bit of it, a little bit of the updates, but a little bit about what you're expecting, and more importantly, what you experienced, like how you feel different and how it's different now.
Sure. Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. So what I was expecting, being honest, I had no idea. Genuinely just went into it, and if you're talking about tips, anybody listening or thinking about it, I just be open-minded. Because, for me, coaching, I've always been a great believer in coaching, and because if you can, why would you spend weeks and months trying to learn something off YouTube or books and things like that? I mean, books can be helpful, but a coach can compress your learning to a very, very short period of time, and do this, like this, to do that. It makes perfect sense to me. So, so that would be my sort of thing, be open-minded, I think, because I kind of very
open-minded.
Yeah. So genuinely, I had no idea what to expect. I knew when I first started listening to the gratitude, I was thinking, what we've all been taught, sort of like be grateful and be thankful for what you've got, and, all that sort of stuff. But gratitude is, it's hard to sort of, I would say that probably had the most profound effect on me, if I'm honest, being grateful, to the point of literally every day now, I wake up and say, this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it, just to myself, every single day, just because, hey, it is a gift, and it's very easy to take that for granted, and I think that's sort of, how I sort of approach that myself, each day. And that is a choice as well. You can, like you say, the negatives there, the positives there, you can choose which one you want to look at. That's just my own personal experience of it. They're all there. I just don't want to look at that because it doesn't interest me, type thing. I'd rather not look at it, type thing. So going into it, I just genuinely went in with an open mind and thought, right, let's just see what this is all about, because who doesn't want to fast track their results? So I was like, okay, let's see these. I want to see the color of the results here. I want to see how this is going to break down, and how if I take this action, that's going to follow. And yeah, so, and then the second part of the question was how
a little bit about like your journey and how what you've experienced like since like during or since.
I mean, obviously during, gratitude itself is a very sort of, I don't know what way to describe it. It's a very sort of, I personally found it very, very spiritual almost, if that's the right word, without sounding weird. I just,
it is. It's a deep emotional experience. It's like something deeper than like surface level.
In the beginning, it's just words. You don't feel it, not really. And then the more you do it, the more you go into it, and you just accept it, you know, and then when you realize just how much you have got to be grateful for, it does genuinely humble you. And Linda used an amazing word earlier on, which is grace. I just love that word.
Yes.
It's just such a beautiful word, and that's the way, you know, to sort of treat. So how it's changed me, I guess, or sort of my experiences from that is, you know, how I treat people is different. How, you know, I treat them as if they're the most important person in the world. It's genuinely, and that might sound a little bit weird, and you know, even people in the shop when you're buying something from the supermarket, you know, by being smiley, by being positive and saying, hey, have a great day, the amount of people that just look up and go, thank you. And if you can make that one person just feel a little bit positive, it's a nice thing. You know, why would you not want to sort of pay that forward to people? So that's obviously part of, you know, that's just a personal sort of experience, but obviously just my whole mindset, really, it's hard to describe it, Nicole. I could go into so many different things about how I approach business, how I word emails to clients, how I speak to people. It's hard to sort of put it down to one thing and say this is, there's lots of different things. Yeah. And they are deliberate actions that are now habits. They're just now part of me. And how I'm not perfect. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm wanting to learn, and there are good and bad days, like anything. But even when there are the days, you know, you've had, you know, a bad day, you can still sort of actually take a step back from it. What I've learned to do now is put distance between myself and situations.
Amazing.
Stand back and go, hang on a minute. Really, just have a look at it. Is it worth your energy? Your time? Is it really what you want to be putting stuff into? So I kind of would do that a lot. You know, it really does that. Just having that ability to stand back and say, I don't want to react to that, or I don't want to get involved with that, or choose not to, you know, behave that way. It's quite a strange sort of way to describe it.
But it's so powerful, like having control. Like you've reprogrammed, which is what the course is designed to help you do, but reprogrammed your thoughts, your conscious thoughts, your subconscious thoughts to become like habitually your wording. Like I love when you share, like you change how you talk to clients or to even people you work with, how you write emails, like what? Yeah. Because that's where the trickle effect of it changes your actions. And when you change your actions, it changes the response to your actions.
Absolutely. Just using positive words in an email. Like in the beginning, maybe let's say I was like sending an email to someone I've never emailed before. Maybe I would have written something like, just a silly example. Sorry to interrupt you, or sorry for, you know.
Right.
Now I literally start it with like, hey, I'm here to serve you. Thank you for taking the time to read my email. But very, very assertive, but very positive at the same time. And being grateful to them for, you know, little things like that.
I love that. That's an amazing example. Hopefully people heard that. Take that tip. It's a really powerful example.
Things like that, I would sort of, you know, and being that way within yourself, and being that way with people does make a difference, because people do react differently to you.
Yeah. Well, in that specific example, sorry, Martin, I didn't mean to, in that specific example, that's like a self-image shift too. Like it's because when you start something with sorry to interrupt you, that in your own inner self-image, there's a position of I may be interrupting you, whereas to your point, when you reworded it with confidence and positivity, and I'm here to serve you, but that's now your self-image is here and you perceive that way. So
exactly. And how they react to you completely it changes the conversation.
Totally. I love it.
really does.
I did want to share really quickly, because two things, Martin. One thing that was really powerful for you during our time together too was the job. Like you realized the career you were in, the people you were working with, that you used to maybe work well with, you realized they were on a different scale. Like you didn't meld anymore as you grew and evolved. Then you didn't really relate to them anymore, and then you got a job that was much more aligned, and started another business, like a lot of things, but
100%.
really saw some big shifts.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, to the point where business partners were sort of saying things like, stop being so positive about stuff. I'm not to ignore the bad things. I just don't want to look at them. I'm choosing to see the positives in what we're doing and moving forward with it. And yeah, it was just, your approach to things can be very, very different, but I also noticed, a lot of the things, like even the words that I use and listening to people who haven't done that, you can definitely feel the difference in people's, and I don't want to sort of do it. It's not coming from a place of, being better or anything. It's far from that. It's completely opposite. It's almost like you're very aware of the language people use to describe themselves. For example, I think I mentioned to you that, at work there's a student, and she'll say things like, I'm no good at this. I'm always getting bad things happen to me. And I said to her, why are you no good at that? How do you know you're no good at that? Have you tried that? Every time I do that, and it's just sort of like, well, if you keep saying that, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
If you keep saying I'm unlucky, you're going to be unlucky. So change how I am lucky. Change, just try, what have you got to lose?
It's so good.
So little things like that. I definitely.
And it's so amazing that young lady who's working with you has your awareness to be able to catch those things in her and in a positive way be able to support her shifting as well. Like that's like the trickle effect, right? That's like the trickle effect of others is just now affecting many people. Do you have any? Any other last thoughts or tips or anything that you want to else that you want to share? And then I'll give Linda and Sharon another chance if they want to share a few more.
Yeah, I mean, last tips. I mean, like I say, I guess I would say to anybody who's thinking of doing this or wanting to look into this is give it a go. You've got nothing to lose. In reality, you have everything to gain, and what you don't know, and that's a really good way to sort of think about it. Because like I say, I was Mr. Skeptical, Mr. I don't know what this is about. I have no idea what to expect here, but hey, it kind of feels right, so we'll go with it, type thing. And look, obviously, what with the information we got from Tony and the support from yourselves and everything else, it's just fantastic. And definitely, so yeah, to the like. Yeah, just give it a go. What have we got? There's nothing ventured, as they say. And like Casey said, if it keeps coming up and it's coming into you're watching this video for a reason. Clearly, there's something there which brought you here, or to watch this video and to look at these sorts of things. Just go for it. You only get one life, so try and do something with it.
Yeah. That's amazing. And it's just the beginning for you all. Like even doing this for 6 months, 12 months, a year, you guys are such a great example of once you know, I love this quote, when you know a little, you think you know a lot. When you know a lot, you realize how little you know. So you're just on a continuous journey of evolving and growing and like so many exciting things. Breaking like new businesses and new ideas and new experiences. It's just the beginning. So
absolutely.
It's really exciting. Awesome. Linda and Linda and Sharon. Linda and Casey. Do you have any?
Sharon. Yeah, I love Sharon.
I just a couple things to add. First of all, I recognize the value of this program the minute I saw it, and I wanted to share it with the people I love. I have to add, I so appreciated what Martin just said about the way that you look at the goodness in people, because it does, when you feel gratitude, when you're practicing gratitude, when you're looking for things each day to be grateful for, it brings that out in you, and you see that in other people, and not just in people, but you see it in the beauty of the world. You see it in the beauty of the things around you. And that's one of the things that I think that I just, I'm so happy. You're happier because the things around you have more beauty, but they have more meaning. The other thing that I think that I wanted to just mention is the way that my routine and my life changed. I have a great life. I've had a great life previous to this, and I have a better life now because of it. And one of the reasons is because I've changed some of the things in my routine. I started to journal. I've not been a journaler, and I started to journal those things. I started to journal about gratitude, and I started to journal about those things that were purposeful in my life. And I journaled about my vision, and I started to meditate and bring that into my life, which has been such a glorious, wonderful thing for me. So I've brought good books and good reading into my life that have broadened my horizons about the things that I've learned. And so and the coaching that was mentioned, you think that you know it and you have a great life, but when you add that element of you don't know what you don't know until you know it, and when somebody else can teach you that and bring that into your life too, it just adds just a whole new thing. So, and the relationships, I will always love Martin and Sharon for the things that we've shared together, even though we've never met, and we keep saying we're coming to Ireland just to meet you. I always love him because we've shared these things and these experiences together, and we understand each other. And one of the things that I've learned about gratitude is learning to appreciate something. You don't have to lose it to appreciate it. I've had a lot of loss in my life, a lot of loss of people that I love. And you don't have to lose something to appreciate it. And so those are some of the things I'm grateful for.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing. Oh, it's been so wonderful to hear. I just, Linda's been making me speechless today. You're like on a cloud. It's really, really powerful. Thank you for sharing. Casey, did you have any last thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, Martin touched on it for sure, that it really is just a domino effect. And the only advice maybe that I would give, if you don't want to do it, is like, you can't, like you said, well, you can't go back. And, I shared a little bit about why I started, because my circumstances with this divorce, and we're a little over a year later that we started this program together. I'm still not divorced. Circumstances haven't changed much, but my life has changed completely, drastically. And that has nothing to do with anything external. It's 100% everything inside of me, and within my view of the world, within what I choose to focus on, what I choose to put energy into. And I think that is the most powerful part of this process is, it's like a snowball effect, that it starts out small and then you keep rolling it and it gets bigger and bigger. And it's almost like your soul like yearns for more, and as you continue down the path, more things continue to fall into your life that lead you to learn the things that you are here to learn. And it's just really a beautiful journey, the whole journey. And there's so many aspects of, I mean, I could go forever of all the benefits to it and why to do it and why to take the leap of faith, right? I could be here forever. But it really has changed my life. Like I said, the last year, my circumstances haven't changed much. There have been times where, I've experienced the most dark, even going through this program, the most dark, depressed times of my life. And I've also experienced the equal opposite of the most joy and grace. That is the word that actually is really emotional. But it really, I remember in those dark times this last year, and I'm not done with them, right? Just because you go through this program doesn't mean that you're void of like all the crap in the world,
very important message. It's you learn how to go through them and how to grow and evolve and experience, not that you're immune to challenges. Important side note.
But I remember at times, like I remember laying in my bed a handful of times in tears, like total darkness, total depression. And in my mind, just saying I should do my gratitude journal. And I remember throwing it a couple times, saying, no, like, it's bull crap. Like, I don't want to, right? The power in that is I know I have a choice. And I know that when I'm ready, I know I will pick that up. And I will do my journaling. And I will start focusing on what I need to focus on. And I also have learned and am continuing to learn that there is a time and place for grieving and for being angry. And that's okay too. And I don't regret throwing my gratitude journal a couple times. I don't regret it because I did pick it back up every time. And I will always continue to pick it back up. But it really has taught me to enjoy the journey and just see the beauty in the grace in the journey.
I love, Casey, I know I mentioned this before, but I just, your presence has like changed so much. Like the energy, like just, like I feel like I know you now. When I first met you, it was like not the real truth of you. Like not that you weren't a lovely person, but I could feel there was, it's just a different version of you has like, we're all crying now. Oh geez. but for real, like you just transformed so dramatically that you're a different person. Like you're a different person.
Totally. And thank you for being a part of my journey.
Yeah.
Like seriously, Nicole and Martin, Sharon, who's not here, like these relationships will never, I will always look back and you guys will always have a dear spot in my heart. I mean, always. I love you guys.
Well, I'm this is why I also feel like I have the best job in the world, because to be able to have play a part of impacting people's lives on such a big scale, and I'm just a part of it. You guys are doing the work. I'm just supporting the process and the journey. But to be able to experience this with you guys has been like so, and I think I've mentioned before, but it's so life-changing for me as well, because I learned so much from every single person like that I work with and experience as well. And it's been such an incredible experience. So we better wrap up. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate everything that's been shared today. I appreciate you guys, and I'm so grateful for all the time we spent together. And thank you so much. And we'll see you again soon.
Love you, Nicole. Love you, Martin.
Give our love to Sharon.